Hey everybody! Good to see you here. I'm excited to be here again. I actually spent my whole day in the studio. It's been a lot of fun. I got to craft all day today. Kind of lost myself in it. And when we met on Tuesday, I had shown you some of the card samples that I was thinking of doing, and the one that I thought I would be doing today would be the one card layout 3 different ways, and that's what I decided to do. And so I did a lot of prep on it today because I want to get through all 3 cards, and that's going to take just a little while, but I'm still going to try and keep this under an hour so that I don't keep y'all all night. Anyway, I hope you guys had a really great last couple of days. As you can see, it is a beautiful sunny day here in Michigan behind me. And although Michigan is not the warmest place, we somehow have all these flowers already. It's actually a gloomy day in Michigan today. Alan, it's really loud. Sorry, it's actually a gloomy day here in Michigan, so that's why I went with this beautiful bright background, and it actually reminds me of one of my very favorite Disney movies, which is Maleficent. She is my very favorite Disney character. So anyway, so let's see who is here today. Let me see. I want to give a shout out to everybody if I can. Denise, hi, it's so good to see you here. We've got Candy and Marilyn and Shelly on YouTube. Who else do we have? Let me see. Oh, my husband figured out why I couldn't see comments properly on Facebook. So I should be able to see those now. So on Facebook, we've got Candace. Hi, Candace. Hi, Margaret. And Susan and Kathy Marvel. So good to see you guys here. Make sure you leave comments. If you leave a comment there, give me a hello, give me something so that I know that you're there. Because I can't, I can see how many people are on, but I don't know who's there, and I'd love to give you all a shout out if I can. So give me your comments. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Betty Ray. Good to see you. Yay. Oh, and who else? Sandy and Ken are here again. And let me see, Mrs. Whitlock. Hi. Oh, and Denise is giving a shout out to Alan, too. Alan, if you don't know, is my husband. He is my partner in crime. He's also my producer, we've determined. My unpaid but very much appreciated producer. Anyway, I am so excited about what we're going to be doing today because I'm going to be working with one of my very favorite stamp sets. And I'm going to put these up on the screen for you guys to see really quickly. Let me do this. So this set is called Friends. And AKA, or otherwise known as, also known as Sharing is Caring. And it's a big 6x8 stamp set. There's a coordinating die set that cuts out all of the accessories and the characters. And then I'm also going to be working with the Practically Square die set. We call it Practically Square because it's not quite a square, but it is a square. Kind of. And if you notice, all of our die sets are what are they called? Our geometric die sets. We don't, if I could spit this out. I have some of the die sets from very early on where you just kind of nest the same shape over and over and over again. And I end up using only like the 2 outer dies. So what I wanted to do was make sure that if anybody bought one of our geometric die sets, that you were spending your money very wisely, and I wanted to make sure that you guys got a lot of dies in there that you could actually use instead of just using like the 2 largest and maybe the smallest. And so while they all coordinate together, they're not all the exact same shape. And I'm in this when I actually show you the cards that we're going to make. Again, you'll see what I mean by they all coordinate together. I'm going to switch really quickly over to my other camera, so that you can see what we're going to be working on. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these images of the products that we're going to be working with. So this is my Friend set. It is all beautifully loved, so you can see which of the stamps I have already worked with. I've had so much fun with this. I love it. Like I said, it's a really big 6x8 stamp set. You get everything you need in here. All the characters. We've got puppies. Puppy eating a pie over here. We have 2 friends, or brother and sister, or husband and wife, whatever you want to call them. Whoever they are to you. They've got a little puppy over here. Individual boys and girls. You can put together an absolutely beautiful scene with all of these background pieces. I just love this set. And then we also have the coordinating dies. Mine has already been opened, so mine's kind of a little bit of a mess. But if we flip this over, you will see on all of our stamp and die sets. Oh, sorry, hold on, let me get rid of something here. There we go. You'll see on all of our stamp and die sets, we put images on the back for you. So on the stamps, oftentimes you're going to see the images already colored so that we give you an idea of how you can color them and how beautiful they look when they're colored. And on the back of the dies, we will usually give you some images of showing you which dies go around which characters, so that makes it really easy for you. Sometimes we will also have some card samples on there as well. So then the other set that we're going to be working with that I mentioned is Practically Square. This is a frame set. And on the back here we give you kind of a listing of the sizes and the different shapes of all of the dies that are in here. So before we go too far, I want to remind everybody, I do a giveaway every single time I do this. And we choose our winner of our giveaway. My husband actually does it now. He has been the appointed person officially. We choose that winner from the comments on either YouTube or Facebook. The winner is going to get all 3 of these. So you're going to get the stamp set and both of these die sets. But we can't choose you if you don't leave a comment. So I want to make sure that everybody's leaving comments. Now your comment can just be a hello or it can be a question. You're free to ask me anything you want. I will do my best to answer. So I want to show you the very first card. This was the one that I started with. And if you remember, I said that I have prepped everything. So this is the very first, this is what we're going to make. And this is what I was talking about when I was saying we have different shapes, but they all coordinate. This is the largest die from Practically Square, and I've layered the next largest or second largest right over the top, and I've done a beautiful white on white with this. And somebody mentioned to me, they said, hey, you got a lot of brown on that. Well, I wanted to do something that was kind of lattice work, and I thought that this particular stencil would be really, really pretty, and I coordinated the brown with the brown pots. And I should also let you know, I love brown. It's probably one of my favorite colors. So that's why I have brown on that one, a lot of brown on it. So I want to show you, where's my glasses? Here they are. Okay, I'm going to get my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Now, I did stenciling. I'm going to put this right up here so you can see it. I did stenciling, and I want to do the stenciling for you really fast so that you can see how easy it is. You've seen me stencil. But I want to show you how these stencils work. Now, this is our waffle cone stencil, which is really, really fun and easy. And I wanted to do minimal stamping with this particular card. But I wanted to give you a beautiful background. And I'm trying really hard to leave white space when I'm doing my crafting, because that is a challenge for me. I always want to fill up all of the space, and so leaving white space is always very challenging for me, so that's something that I'm trying to tackle and I'm trying to get used to. So I have this is my Bristol Smooth, Strathmore Bristol Smooth. I've cut it to, it's 5.5 inches in length, and the width is 3 inches. And I'm going to line this waffle cone stencil up just along the edges. This is a 6x6 stencil, and so the edges fit perfectly over that Bristol blending card that's behind there. And then the first color I'm going to work with is going to be Tickled Pink. So this is our hybrid ink. This blends beautifully on the Bristol. So the card that I made already has the brown in the background, and if you notice, I'm using pink. So I kind of mentioned that I wanted to do one card 3 different ways. Well, I did the 3 different ways when I was prepping, right? And now I'm going to show you those same cards. I just got pink all over me. Those same cards I'm going to do in slightly different color combinations. So technically, we're going to end up with the same card layout 6 different ways. So all I'm doing is taking single color, that beautiful tickled pink. I'm not worrying about whether or not I'm blending this perfectly smooth, meaning I don't care if I have light and dark around. I think it would be really pretty either way. All right, so that's that. You get really great coverage with that. And now watch what happens when I remove this. It's so pretty. Look how beautiful that is. I love that. I think it's just gorgeous. Now I have my handy dandy little little chamois here thing. I just want to wipe the excess off of my stencil so that it's all ready for next time. I'm going to get my tape off of there and set that aside. I like to reuse my tape as much as I can. All right, so I've got that one clean. I'm going to set that aside. And now the next step with this card, I've already cut out with my Practically Square die set. I've already cut out the largest die, and I've already did some beginning prep on this. So I cut out the second largest die. And this is the next technique that I want to show you. This is from the Sharing is Caring stamp set. I stamped "Thanks for sharing your kindness." I'm not going to do all the stamping because we only have an hour, but I used these 2 sentiments and I paired them up. This particular sentiment set allows you to kind of complete your own sentiments, so you can get creative and you can say thanks for sharing your time, your kindness, your talents, and you can add with us if you want. So I chose "Thanks for sharing" and "your kindness." I went ahead and stamped that. Oh, and then there's one flower in a pot here that I thought was so pretty. You can add this in for a big scene. I decided to do this really, really simply and just stamp it 3 times. But I want to show you what I did because it's kind of fun. It's kind of cool. So I've already stamped 2 of them, and I want to show you how, with the third one, I want to show you how I stamped it. Okay? So I stamped the 2. Let me get the stamp out of here. Do we have any questions from anybody yet?
The only one I've seen was Ken and or Sandy asking if I've made any cards.
Oh, has Alan made any cards? You know what? My husband, the question is, has Alan made any cards? And I got to tell you, he was helping me do some prep stuff for a trade show that we did. I mean, a lot of work for the trade show. And so then for my birthday, he actually made me a card. He stenciled and he stamped. It was absolutely wonderful. It was one of the sweetest things I think he's ever done for me. Okay, so here's what I did. I lined up, I did the 2 pots already. I lined up the 3rd pot, got it ready to go. And I'm stamping this with Pistachios Aplenty. This is a really, really beautiful light, it's a very light green. And I'm sure you've all heard of no-line coloring. And this, when you stamp with a really light color, you can really easily color and give it kind of a no-line effect. And that's what I decided to do with this. I chose the Pistachios Aplenty because it's a green, but it's not a really dark green. And I wanted green because on this particular stamp, the leaves are solid. So can you see that? It's really faint. Let me wipe that off. I'm going to get this off of here so that you can see it. Let me lift this up. Can you see how faint that is? Alan, is that showing up?
Yes.
Okay. So what that does is it gives me the outline of everything. The leaves are solid stamped in green, although they're very light. And so, do I have the right colors here? I think I do. I then came in with some Copic markers. And I'm going to give this some really pretty color, as you see here, and this is so simple to do. So you're going to pick out a light and a dark in your green, and all I'm going to do is kind of trace. This is my light green, very light touch here with my hand, and I'm just going over those leaves to darken them. And it doesn't matter if I'm absolutely perfect with this, because I'm covering up what's underneath. So if I make a mistake, it doesn't really matter. If I go a little bit larger with the leaf, it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to know except me, right?
Betty Jane's asking, would any alcohol marker do?
Absolutely. I use Copics just because I got mine a long time ago. And it doesn't matter if you use Copic Sketch or Copic Chow. It doesn't matter. If you want to work with Spectrum Noir, if you want to work with, I'm trying to think of other brands right now and I can't. But it does not matter because it is an alcohol ink. So I've gone over and I've given that my very first layer. See how beautiful that is? No, you can't see the lines that were stamped. So now I'm going to go and I'm just going to kind of use a darker green, and I'm just going to kind of touch a little bit at the base of each one of these leaves with the darker green. This is just at the bottom where it would attach to the stem. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I decided I wanted to use pink on the flowers, and I decided that first thing I decided was the pink that I wanted on my background stencil. And then I went from there and I chose the pink that I wanted for the flowers. And so even though these are stamped with a very light green, if you were to look at a color wheel, actually, Alan, would you do me a favor? I'm going to have Alan bring my color wheel over here. Do me a favor. There's a color wheel underneath my eyeglass case right there.
Yes.
Let me talk to you for a quick second about the color wheel. When you're looking at a color wheel, you're going to have contrasting colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. That typically means when you're coloring that you're going to be able to give a shadow, give an accent, give a, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm at a loss for the word. A low light, so to speak, I guess, with the opposite color. They're going to work together if you put one over the other, in the sense that I can shadow with it to some degree. So because I have the green, pink is a shade of red, all right? So when I use this pink and I go right over that green line, it looks more like a shadow. It's not really going to turn to mud. It's going to look like a shadow, and it's going to coordinate because they're opposite on the color wheel. Not sure if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. But it's a contrasting color, and a lot of times if I'm using, like if I'm coloring something really dark in green, a lot of times I will use a red as the shadow, or to give it that really deep, intense shadow. Instead of just going with a deeper green, I will actually use a red, and it just gives it a beautiful, rich look. So now I'm doing the same thing that I did with the darker green, and I'm just coming in a tiny little bit at the base of each one of these little flowers. And then with my lighter green, I'm just going to very gently touch down and go over the stems. I'm barely touching. Okay, got one more over here. So that's that. Now you can see the difference. See how pretty that is? And it has a no line effect because you're just kind of fading out the lines that were there. So then the next thing I'm going to do is this little pot. And this is the only image I'm going to be coloring today, but I really wanted to show this particular look because I think it's so pretty and it's really easy to do. So all I'm doing is starting with a very light, this is a light beige, and I'm kind of tracing that green line and I'm going to fill in. Now when I color with my alcohol markers, I always go light to dark. It's not the only way that you can do it. A lot of people go dark to light. It's just not my preference and it's not how I learned. So it's just not the way that I do it. So I'm going to go up in color. So that was actually an E30 or 30. And now this is a 31. And all I'm going to do is kind of bring in a little bit of color on the sides. I'm going to turn this around. Now I mentioned when I was coloring the other day that I turn the image. I turn the image, I don't twist my hand around. Come right up the side there. Oops. There we go. Now this is where I want to start making it look a little bit more like a pot. I can still see the green lines. So I'm going to go over it with, the next one is my E33. I'm going to go over what I've already done. But not completely. I'm going to go over that line. So this is the point where I make that green line disappear. All right. So from here I'm going to take my lighter color, my E30, blend that out just a little bit. I'm going to go up in color again, blend that in a bit. And now I'm going to really accent this with my dark color. So right where that lip is, where the pot meets the base, I put that strong line right there. And notice I'm not tracing the whole thing in this dark color. I'm not tracing that entire line on the side or around it in that color. I'm going to take my E31, which is kind of my medium color, and I'm very, very gently tapping down and blending that out just a little bit because I want to leave that dark color. I'll go up to my next darker one here just to blend a bit more. You know what, I think I'm going to put a bit more back. If you over blend it, you can always add a little bit more. But I'm very, very gently touching down. So that's where I'm going to leave that pot, where we have a little bit of a highlight in the front. And right now they look like they're floating in midair, which I don't like. So I grabbed, because I was working with brown, I'm going to talk to you about grays. You've got different kinds of grays. With Copic markers, they use a W to let you know it's a warm gray. They'll use an N in the front of the number for a neutral. They'll use a C in the front for a cool. Neutral is not going to have a blue or a brown undertone. A warm, or a W, is going to have a brown undertone. And a cool is going to have a blue undertone. So because I'm already working with brown, I wanted to stick with warm colors, so I'm going with a W1 and a W3. And all I'm going to do is create a tiny little bit of a gray, kind of a shadow down here a bit. Put a little color down. Go out there just a tiny little bit.
Candace wants to know if you have any go-to colors
For Copics?
of your inks, of your hybrid inks, like your blue that you use for your clouds, that sort of thing.
Oh, I absolutely do. My favorite, so Candace is asking, do I have any go-to colors for my hybrid inks? And yes, I do. For clouds, I usually will use Marina Madness. It's my favorite blue for clouds. My favorite green for grass is evergreen. There we go, look at that. So now with that little bit of a shadow, it looks like, can you see it on there? That's showing? With that little bit of a shadow underneath there, it looks like it's actually resting on a surface instead of floating in midair. So that is going to be the extent of the coloring for today. So I wanted to show you that because I think that that's a lot of fun. It's a really fun technique, and it's one that you can apply to a lot of things. So next, I'm going to show you how easy this card is to assemble. So I've got my card base. This is an A2 size card. So folded, it's 5.5 in length and 4 1/4 wide. And I've got my background. I'm just going to put some adhesive on the background, or on the back of it here. And this is cut to 5 inches in length by 3 inches wide. Let me lower this down here so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to center this. Okay, looks like mine's cut a little bit long, but I can trim that off with my scissors. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I've already got my die cut here, and I've got a little bit of foam on the back already. Like I said, I tried to do as much prep work as I could so I could actually get through all 3 cards. So I'm going to center this both vertically and horizontally. And then this piece here now, I want to put some foam on it because it's white on white. So if I lay it right on top, it's not going to have that little bit of a shadow under it that I want. I want to have a little shadow under it so that you can very easily see that it is stacked and it's 2 different pieces. So I'm going to cut a little bit of foam here. My foam is not a really thick foam, so it's not going to give me too much dimension. I don't want to lift this up too much, especially since I've got 2 layers of it lifted. I still want this to fit into an envelope. And so once I add that on there, that is done. Isn't that beautiful? I think they're so pretty. So this is the first one that I did, and this is the second one that I did. So we have 2 cards, almost identical except for the color combinations, and I changed out the sentiment. You can see the dimension on that. Isn't that pretty? It's so simple. It comes together really, really fast, especially with that particular coloring technique. I love that. I think it's so much fun.
Oh, Holly's on.
Holly! Hey, Holly! Holly Fossen is my pal from HSN. We do HSN together, so I'm so excited. We had a conversation earlier, and I let her know that I was going to be doing this, so I was hoping I would see her. So hello, my friend. Alrighty, next up is going to be this card. So it's the same layout, but we're going to do this one. I think is a little more masculine. So we did really feminine the first time. This one's going to be more masculine. So let's see how this one comes together. This is the background that I was kind of playing with. I was trying to figure out what color I wanted to use. This first one here, I used orange and brown for the background. And this one, I used blue and green. And so I'm going to show you how I created this. Let me move. Let me see. Got this. Let me get my supplies over here. Okay, I'll work on the back of this one. So this is going to be, this is our plaid stencil. And I don't know about you guys, but I love stenciling. I absolutely love stenciling. I think that the effect that you can get is just amazing. It's easy to do, and you can create your own custom backgrounds. I mean, I love working with backgrounds, you know, from paper packs and stuff like that. I absolutely love that as well. But stencils, man, you can just use your own creativity. So this, again, this is 5.5 inches in length, 3 inches wide. And I'm going to tape this stencil down. This is our plaid stencil. This is one of our hottest selling stencils, by the way. This is one that we can have a hard time keeping this one in stock. So I'm just using some purple tape. This is purple tape from ThermoWeb, actually, which works so nice. I just love it. So the 2 colors I chose to work with here Let me move stuff out of the way so I don't make a mess. I chose to work with, this is turning out to be, I love green and blue, and I think it's very masculine and boyish, but it's so bright as well. So this one is Key Lime Pie, and then the blue is Dark Wash Jeans, and these are two of my favorites. They're part of the original colors, and I absolutely love them. So when I stencil, I start off with my light color, very much like when I'm working with my Copics. I start off with the light color first, and I do that because it's easier to cover a light color if I add too much, but you can't take away a dark color if you add too much. So I'm just kind of going to bring this green in around, just like that, really simply. Pop that in. And it's okay if I add too much green, like I was saying, because the blue will cover it. All right, so there's my green. Let's see how absolutely fast and simple that is. And then this is my Dark Wash Jeans. There we go. And this is a deep color. It's so nice. And it may look like I'm adding a lot, but wait until I pull this stencil up and you see what's happening. It is so cool. Let's see how I've done. You know, I'm going to go even darker blue in some areas. So I get a really, really great contrast with these colors. A little bit up in that corner. Over there. All right. Let's see what happens. This is kind of like Christmas morning when you pull this off and you go, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And it is. It's really, really pretty. But you know what I want to do? I'm going to add in, oops, I just changed my alignment. So let me fix that. Let me realign that. There we go. All I'm doing is lining up where the stencil was, and I can see where it was because of where the white lines are. You know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on camera. There we go. I think I just got it. Bear with me. This is what happens when you're crafting. You sometimes move things when you shouldn't. There we go. I'm going to get my green back out, and I'm going to darken some of that green. Oops. Oh, wow, it would help if I had the right one. There we go. Come right in with more green. All right, that is cool looking. Okay. Look how gorgeous that is. Oh my gosh. If I could sing, I would. I think it's absolutely stunning. Look how pretty that is. Gosh, I love this stencil. Okay, I'm going to do a quick clean on this one because I'd like to keep my stencils nice and clean for the next time. It's a, you know, I'm using a hybrid ink. It's going to blend beautifully, but it is going to dry. And so I do want to get this off my stencil as much as I can while it's wet. All right, there we go. So let me move this one over here now. Oops, sorry, right across the screen. That didn't look very good, did it? Get all these things put away. Okay, so next, so here we go. Let me show you the difference in how, see how I did these? I did this one earlier today, and I did this one right now. Every time you work with these, they're different. They're just so beautiful. And I actually think I want to go with this one that's more vibrant for the card when I put it together. So this one is already cut. And again, I have my A2 card. It's 8.5 in one direction, 5.5 in height, and when you fold it and score it, it's going to be 4.25 by 5.5. So, what?
I have questions and comments and stuff
Okay.
like that. If you're interested.
Yep, Alan is going to give me some questions real quick.
What is your shipping situation?
Oh, we are shipping.
Every day.
We are shipping. We were shipping only a couple of times a week, but we've got it down now, and we're shipping almost every single day. So you will get your orders quickly. Yeah, we've got that worked out, so we're good there.
And Sharon is saying that ink swatches, it's good to have ink swatches because the plastic lid makes the colors look different.
Oh, that's a very good point. That's a very good point.
I don't know if we have something like that. People could print or whatever.
Let me go like this. Just let me get the thing up the screen. I thought I had a printable on the website, so you could create ink swatches. Now you're making me wonder. I know we created one.
Are you saying people could create their own?
Yeah, yes, ink swatches. Yes, I believe we have a chart available for download. I'm going to have to double check that because I know that we created one. Now I'm starting to wonder if we actually got it uploaded. So that you can actually chart your own ink colors. Because I will tell you something. With the hybrid inks, let me explain something. With the hybrid inks, you are going to have gorgeous color. It can end up, like if you're doing solid stamping on a large surface, a large solid surface, and you stamp it, and you'll see this in an upcoming video too. It could end up looking a little mottled, but then as it dries, it evens out, and you'll get really beautiful, true, and lasting color as it dries. They're absolutely just brilliant and beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to leave this like this. So having an ink swatch is an excellent idea, and you can create your own ink swatches with the charts.
Do you prefer blending brushes over sponges, and do you wash the brushes?
I do prefer the brushes over sponges. So the question is, do I prefer blending brushes over sponges, and do I wash the brushes? Yes, I do prefer the brush over the sponge because I think I get a much smoother and more even distribution of the color with a brush. And do I clean them? Well, I'm working with a hybrid ink. A hybrid ink is a combination dye and pigment, so there are permanent qualities to it. So you're not going to be able to clean it completely. And so I actually have, if you see my brushes here, like this one, for example, says Tickled Pink on the back. I label it. I label them so that I actually do have one for every color. In that way, I make sure that I keep everything. I'm very weird about having everything organized. Any more questions? I'm going to set up this sentiment stamp. Let me say this really quickly. I'm doggone lucky to call you my friend. That's 2 sentiments that are in this set, and I'm going to get these set up. Any more questions?
Your favorite watercolors. What can you show and tell what your favorite watercolor is? Your tools. I don't think you have those here, do you?
I do, actually. Yes. Let me stamp this, and then I'll go over that really quickly. So I'm going to combine 2 different sentiments for this. So I've got I'm doggone lucky, and I'm not putting both of them on here at the same time. I find that I am more likely to make a mistake if I put too many stamps to stamp at one time. And so I like to stamp them individually. I would much rather take the time stamping individually and only doing it one time rather than making a mistake and having to do it multiple times. Oh, and I'm going to mention this. We have an extreme cleaner for your stamps. Like I mentioned, this is a hybrid ink, so it does have some permanent qualities to it. It is going to stain your stamps to some degree because it has permanent qualities. The reason I use the stamp cleaner is I like to get all that extra residue off of there. So even though it does stain it a little bit, I get the residue off with my stamp cleaner. So that was I'm Doggone Lucky, and this one is To Call You My Friend. I'll line that one up. There we go, perfect. So I'm just going to go over this with my cleaner. This is called Extreme Clean, and it does have like a little dauber on the top. Wipe that up really quickly. And I'm going to put my stamp back because I am a fanatic about it. Oops, don't want it upside down. Okay. So now I have this done. My sentiment is on there. And I went ahead and I stamped those the one little stamp of the 2 puppy dogs with the little bone, and I colored those with Copic markers. I'm going to put foam on the back of both of these. And like I mentioned already, my foam is really thin. So I don't, I'm going to get dimension, but it's not going to be so much that I can't pop it into an envelope. So let's do that, and where'd it go? Let me get one more piece here for the little puppies. And then here's my card. Just take the back off of these really quick. And I love this die set, this Practically Square. We have Practically Ovals, I think, as well. Because all the shapes are just a little bit different, but they look so pretty when they're used together and layered. You can use them individually on their own, or you can layer them, and they're just so pretty. Look how sweet that is. So that is a nice little kind of a masculine card. I love it. I think it's pretty. I probably shouldn't keep saying that it's my own design. I shouldn't be talking about how much I love it, right?
Maybe not.
I don't know. I love it though. I do. Okay. What time is it? It's 7:43. So I'm not. You've seen me stencil, so I'm not going to do any more stenciling. But I want to show you what I did. This is our Playful Pattern stencil, and this stencil has 3 different patterns to it. Now the patterns are narrow, so they're not 3 inches wide. So it's not going to cover that 3-inch width that I did on the others. So what I did is I just took this one, which is kind of like candy stripe, and I laid it across the top, and I stenciled, and then I laid it across the bottom, and I stenciled that in this color, which is called La La Lavender. And I did that. Where's my other card? Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. I did it in La La Lavender because I colored her dress in purple, and she's going to go on the front. So this was my original card, and I did it with the polka dots from the same set, so you can see what it looks like with the polka dots. And these are 2 of the kids from the stamp set, and this one is giving the other a homemade pie, and that's why I chose Cutie Pie, which I think is so cute. This time I decided I wanted to use the little boy and the little girl, where he's kind of giving her a flower. And I'm going to use the same sentiment up there because I think it still works. And so I chose to do this particular candy stripe instead of the polka dots. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this now to 3 inches in width because I just grabbed an A2 in order to do it originally. So I'm just going to cut that off of there. And I'm going to assemble this card quickly. So it's the same assembly that I did with the others.
Question, are you going to be on HSN May 5th? I'm guessing not.
No, I believe our next show is going to, well, wait a minute, let me think. No, our next show is in July. And we've got some really, really cool stuff coming to you in July.
And Sharon's asking, is that a French
That's right.
bulldog? I didn't see a dog. Did you?
You know what? Where is he? You know, I think he actually is. Isn't he just the cutest little thing? And maybe you're looking over at this one here too. He does look like a French bulldog now that you say that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment on this one.
You showed your watercolors. Didn't you?
What?
Watercolors.
Yes, will you grab? They're right over there. That's my current favorite.
Is this? Yeah.
Yes, Alan is, it's those right there.
Oh, I thought you mixed them.
Well, I do.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, my husband's asking me some questions about the watercolors, and I'm going to get to that in just a moment, I promise. Where is Hi Cutie Pie? Let's do that. Let me get this on here. Kind of centered. There you go. Ink that up. This is our Raven Hybrid ink. This stamp set, by the way, is available in our store, but it's also available, the stamp and the die set, they're both available on HSN at a fantastic price there. I highly recommend that if you haven't checked out what we have on HSN. I strongly recommend that you do, because there's some fantastic things out there and the pricing is out of this world. Okay, so here next up, let's get some foam on the back of this. And then we'll get those two little characters on there. I'm going to say, I'm surprised I'm actually getting through 3 cards in an hour. It's so unlike me.
I'm cheating.
Well, yeah, there's a little prep involved in it, but it's still working. And then I have these little characters here. I'm going to put some foam on them. Where's the beginning? I keep losing the beginning of my foam for some reason. I don't know what's up with that. Now, my foam is thick, so I'm cutting this in half.
Thin.
No, it's thick in width,
Oh.
actually. My husband's
Wide.
correcting me. Yes, wide. Thank you. What would I do without you? I think I might be right once in a while if I didn't have you. What is a husband good for? To let you know when you've made a mistake. Oh my gosh.
As a baby.
Yes. I have a story for you, which might be inappropriate, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Where we used to live, we used to have an area in the yard, a very specific little area where our dog would do her business. And I was out there cleaning it this one day, you know, scooping things up and stuff. And my husband came along and actually told me I was doing it wrong and wanted to give me a lesson on how to properly clean up the dog
I
do.
was mansplaining.
To which I said, are you seriously giving me a lesson in how to pick up? Yeah. Okay, so here we have 6 cards. So I said we were going to do 3 cards 2 ways. And as it turns out, we did 6 cards. How's that? I love these. I think they came out so nice. I am so pleased with them. I'm absolutely thrilled. So, and yes, that is a true story that I told you. I swear. It was ridiculous. Okay, did anybody laugh at that, or did people just hang up and turn
They
me
all
off?
sided with me.
They all sided with my husband. That's just so funny. Okay. Had a question. I'm going to do the giveaway in just a moment. I'm trying to get all the stuff together to do that. We had a question about watercolors. What's my favorite watercolor? My favorite watercolor to work with actually is Ecoline. These are what I work with. And there's a lot of Ecoline colors available, and I've actually thought about getting like the entire set of them. This was my starter set. These are brush pens. They're filled with a liquid watercolor, and I love them. But I haven't bothered getting the rest of the colors. I make my own colors. So these are kind of like your base colors, and so with these colors I can just kind of mix them and make whatever colors I want. So that's what I do. These are my favorite to work with, but I actually do have some other watercolor pens that I'm really excited about, and they're on order and they have shipped and they're on their way here, and I can't wait to test them out, and I'm super excited about them, and those are the markers I'm waiting on so I can use those in the class, because I just think they look fantastic and I'm anxious to try them. So, and if I like them, we're probably going to carry them in the store, and there's a lot of colors with them and different options, but anyway, they're really, really pretty, and I'm not going to tell you what they are yet. Okay, so let's see. It is 7:52, and we still have something to do, don't we? Don't we? We have a giveaway. So, the giveaway is going to... Did I already tell you this? I think I did.
Yes.
One lucky winner is going to win the 6x8 stamp set, the coordinating dies, and that super, super duper awesome practically square die set that I worked with. And who's that winner going to be? We need a drum roll.
I need you to pick Facebook or YouTube.
Okay, let's see, Facebook or YouTube. Let's go with Facebook. Let's pick the winner from Facebook.
Esmeralda Gardner.
Esmeralda Gardner, you are the winner. Raise your hands, jump up and down. Yay! You're going to win all of these, so you're going to get to make all of these, and you can use whatever stencils you want. You don't have to use the stencils that I use. You can use whatever stencils you want. But here's what I need from you, Esmeralda. I need you to give me send me a private message. I need your complete and entire and full shipping address so that we can get these out to you right away. So much fun. You know what? I think this one's my favorite. I do. I think this is my favorite. Which card is your favorite? Anybody? Oh, do we have any other questions? Anybody else have any other questions for me before we go? Let's see.
Pick me, pick me.
Pick me, pick me. Okay. Oh, so Denise says, have not tried Ecoline before. Good to know. They are really, really nice. I will tell you, the Ecoline, that's what I use to color. I have it back over there. The colors are incredibly vibrant. They're so beautiful and vibrant, and I mean, just highly pigmented. They go a long way. They're really, really nice. I'm trying to think of, what are we going to do next week? Let me see. I think one of the things I want to do next week, I mentioned to you how much I love working with stencils. I'm having an absolute blast with it. And we have some stencils that have really, really cool background scenes. They're very specifically for scene building. So I think I'm going to do something with those next week and maybe make a couple of cards where I do more of an elaborate scene with just those stencils. And then we'll put some characters on top of those. And we'll see how those come out. And then I'm still working on putting together the floral watercolor class. But I have to wait until my new watercolors come in. And but like I said, those have shipped, so I'm expecting them anytime. So, does anybody have any fantastic plans for the weekend? Crafting, maybe? Are you going to make some cards like these? These are so fun and easy to do. I really hope that you guys are going to give this technique a try, because it's really, really fun and easy to do, and I think it really packs a lot of punch. It's, let me show you that one more time, up close in here. Because I want you to see, if you look at this, wait, where's it go? This way. They don't look like they were stamped. I just think it's so pretty. You can't see any black lines or anything anywhere. I think they're just beautiful. So hopefully you guys will give that a shot, and hopefully you guys will have some fun with some backgrounds. What?
Stephanie's asking if you were going to continue the lives after the dust clears.
Oh, Stephanie's asking if I'm going to continue these lives after the dust clears. You know what? I'm having a lot of fun with it, to be honest with you. I love the connection with you guys. I think that's absolutely spectacular and fun. I love that you ask me questions. I love that you're here. I love that you're excited about the products. I love that you even care about what I'm showing you. And I love planning it and sharing it with you. And so yeah, I think I am. I think I am going to continue it. As long as I have something to share, then I think I will continue it. And you know what? Here's the thing. It's therapeutic for me, and it actually gets me using the products, using these products. You know, a lot of the times when I'm crafting in a hurry because we're getting ready for a show or something. So this is really therapeutic, and it gives me time to get away from the business side of things and actually enjoy the products that we're putting out, and it keeps me connected to them even more, and it keeps me connected to everybody. So yeah, I think I will continue these. Anybody else? Any questions?
Don't see any, but I probably missed some.
Okay, well, I think we are about out of time anyway. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I hope everybody stays safe and healthy, and you know, if you do get outside and get some sunshine, just do it carefully, sensibly, and soak up the vitamin D if you got it out there. Thank you so much. I had a wonderful time, and I really, really enjoyed being here with you guys. I will see you on Tuesday, right back here. Today's Thursday, right? I'm losing track of the days. I will see you guys on Tuesday. Have a great week and a great weekend. Bye.